In this episode, we'll take a look at the Voice Technologies VT500 Lavalier microphone. The VT500 is a professional level lavalier microphone that's meant for TV, broadcast, for film, and for theater. It's made by a company in Switzerland, and today we're going to take a closer look and listen. First of all, what does a professional level lavalier microphone offer that lesser microphones don't? Here are a number of things that the Voice Technologies VT500 does have. First of all, RF shielding inside of the injection molded casing. It actually has a front-facing capsule, which is a little bit different than most other lavalier microphones, but it works very nicely because it is an omnidirectional pickup pattern, so it's okay for it to be facing out. And this is exactly what it sounds like. This entire episode is recorded with the VT500 except where noted. It does have a very thin and tough cable, great build quality overall. Of course, the sound quality is engineered quite carefully. A lot of times in the less expensive or the cheap lavalier microphones, if we want to call them that, they generally will use an off-the-shelf stock capsule that isn't carefully voiced necessarily. For a professional level microphone like this, however, they have carefully engineered the sound and fine-tuned the voicing on it to sound its best in its intended use, and that is when you have it attached to someone's body. So when you have a microphone that close to a person, it tends to pick up different things. So for example, it's a little bit less articulate generally, and it tends to get a little bit more chest resonance, I guess. So it has a particular sound that's not necessarily as natural, and so they voice the microphone to adapt to that. The injection molding provides some shockproofing. It comes in a variety of colors. Again, this is mainly for theater, but also applies to film. It comes in black, white, and beige. So beige is sort of a skin tone, and that way it's easier to hide on your talent. It does come in this waterproof case with a variety of accessories, including an alligator clip, which is pretty standard, also a windscreen, a tie tack clip, a Dracula mount, they call it, which is sometimes also called a vampire mount, which has these little prongs that allow you to kind of easily slide it into clothes or wardrobe, and also a rubber body mount if you're going to attach it directly to someone's skin. One big thing that makes it a professional level microphone is that it comes in a variety of different connectors to use with pretty much any of the professional grade wireless microphone systems. Yes, enough about the features. How does it sound? Let's compare it here to the Sanken COS-11D, which is a very, very common professional grade lavalier microphone used in TV and film, and here they are side by side. It was easier to know it than to explain why I know it. If you were asked to prove that 2 and 2 made 4, you might find some difficulty, and yet you are quite sure of the fact. It was easier to know it than to explain why I know it. If you were asked to prove that 2 and 2 made 4, you might find some difficulty, and yet you are quite sure of the fact.
It was easier to know it than to explain why I know it. If you were asked to prove that 2 and 2 made 4, you might find some difficulty, and yet you are quite sure of the fact. It was easier to know it than to explain why I know it. If you were asked to prove that 2 and 2 made 4, you might find some difficulty, and yet you are quite sure of the fact.
Now, in terms of pricing, we're looking at $299 US for the kit with all of the accessories and the waterproof box. You can also buy a pared down kit that does not have the waterproof box, just a simple plastic box, and it comes with an alligator clip foam windscreen, and that runs $199 US. For reference, the Sanken COS-11D runs $379 US with its accessories in a plastic box, not waterproof, or $339 without the accessories. And likewise, the Countryman B6, also another fairly common, very small lavalier microphone that's a professional grade microphone, runs at just under $300. So they're all priced fairly similarly. In my tests with phones and other RF generating devices, I was not able to pick up any sort of RF interference. So in the tests that I've done so far, all good on that front, which is really important because on sets and on locations today, there's so much RF interference that can become a problem. Of course, there's the wireless system itself. In this case, we're using a Rodelink digital wireless lavalier system. So overall, we'll let you go ahead and be the judge in terms of its overall audio quality. For me, I was pretty impressed. I think it's a really great option. It's very easy to hide based on its form factor, especially underneath button plackets, which is a common place for my corporate videos where I need to hide lavalier microphones. That is on a button-down shirt. It's the place where you do the buttons up. And overall, it's been a very good experience working with it so far. So I hope that was helpful for you. Go ahead and leave any questions you have down below. And if you've not already subscribed, make sure you do that. And we'll be sure to get you more great videos on how to improve your lighting and sound for video. Talk to you soon.